Hey everyone, it's Lisa from the blog farmhouseonboone.com, and today I'm going to be sharing a what we eat in a week breakfast edition video. So I share these pretty often. I share one idea per day of a meal that we're making. Today I'm going to do a breakfast edition. I haven't done one of these in quite a while, and it'll give you some ideas for breakfast. Now, most days we pretty much eat eggs and smoothies, but during this video I came up with some of my favorite ideas that we do like to incorporate regularly, even if we don't do something special every single day. Today's video is sponsored by Thrive Market. I love getting my basic essentials on Thrive Market, like herbs and spices, salt, oils, pantry staples like oatmeal and nuts and dried fruit, ketchup, einkorn pasta by Jovial, pasta sauce, tomato paste, tomatoes, all of those types of things I can get there. There are items on Thrive Market that I can find that I can't get at my local grocery store, which is one of the reasons why I've been a member for many years now. Thrive Market is now offering a month-to-month membership. So whenever I signed up for Thrive Market, you paid once per year up front, but now they're offering more of a month-to-month system as well. You can also get the yearly one for a little bit of a cheaper price if you want to try it out, but you aren't 100% sure if you want to try it. You also, on their website, can sort by diet type. So if you are gluten-free or paleo or following anything specific, you can find that really easily. I always just go into my recent orders and reorder from there. Another thing I like to get on Thrive Market are my supplements, like the prenatals I took when I was pregnant, and my magnesium, my iron, all from Thrive Market. Now they are offering, if you are a first-time customer, you can get a free $24 item free by going to thrivemarket.com/farmhouseonboone. The link will also be down in the description box below. All right, let's dive into the breakfast ideas. On day one, I did einkorn pancakes with date syrup. I like to make sourdough pancakes, but every once in a while we will just have some non-sourdough pancakes, and when we do that, I like to do it with einkorn. For this recipe, I did 3 cups of einkorn flour, 1 cup of goat milk, a couple teaspoons of baking soda, salt, egg, syrup, and butter. Now this time I served this with butter and date syrup. I really love using date syrup. It's pretty new to me, tastes so good. If you all follow my podcast, it is here on YouTube, the Simple Farmhouse Life podcast. I did do an episode with the date lady, and we talked about using dates in place of sugar. So you can hear more about that. But date syrup tastes delicious on fluffy einkorn pancakes. On day 2, we did einkorn biscuits and gravy. I love making gravy. I don't get to do it very often, but I just brown up some sausage, add in a little bit of einkorn flour and some goat milk and salt, and just whisk it and cook it until it thickens. So delicious over some einkorn biscuits or sourdough biscuits, whichever kind of biscuits you choose to use, they are delicious. On day 3, I did homemade granola with goat milk. We are milking goats every single day, and so we have a lot of fresh goat milk. One of the ways my kids love goat milk is with granola. Now, I do have some recipes for granola over on the blog. Personally, I don't even measure. I throw some coconut oil and honey into a large stock pot to get everything all liquidy, add in some vanilla and cinnamon, and then I add in chopped pecans, coconut chips, shredded coconut, oats, and a little bit of salt, and then just stir it all together and crisp it up on a baking sheet in the oven. If you add enough coconut oil, it gets really crispy. It's way more crunchy than if you add more honey, it'll just be a little bit soggy. So if you want the exact proportions, again, I have a recipe. I'll leave a link down in the description box below. I also, whenever it came out, added some dried cherries and chocolate chunks to make a cherry chocolate chunk granola. So good, one of our favorites, and then served it with some goat milk. Day 4, we did a breakfast casserole. This is one of our favorite things because I can get it in the oven before we go out to do our chores, and then when we come in, it's ready and hot. So to do it, I just brown up some sausage or bacon, or I do meatless also. Add in vegetables like mushrooms and onions, sometimes bell peppers. And then I whisk up several eggs with some milk and salt and cheese, and then add it to the veggies and meat in a 9x13 pan and bake it at 350 degrees while we're out doing chores. Now, if you want it to bake a little bit faster, you can bake it at 400 degrees. I haven't had any trouble doing that as well. So this is really flexible, no measuring, and it's just a really good hands-off way to get breakfast going while you're doing other things. You can also make this ahead. So if you make it double, you can put one of them in a 9x13 in the fridge, and then you'll have it ready to pop in the oven the next day. Also a really good way to use up any extra veggies. So I forgot that on this day, I also had some leftover crispy potatoes that I served with my biscuits and gravy from the day before. And I actually just threw those cooked potatoes in there to add some more veggies to the casserole. Sometimes if we've had something with beef, like beef taco meat actually, tastes really good in one of these egg casseroles. You can serve it with a little bit of sour cream and salsa and make it more of a Mexican egg casserole. So if you have a really small amount of something left over, like sometimes I make diced sweet potatoes and I only have a little cup left over, I can just throw those into an egg casserole and use them up that way. Day 5, we did my friend Stephanie from Hopewell Heights sourdough Dutch baby pancake. To make this, you scramble 6 eggs, add 2 cups of sourdough starter, 1/3 of a cup of milk, 1/4 cup of honey, preheat the oven with a cast iron skillet at 425 degrees, add 4 tablespoons of butter, and then pour the batter into that, pop it in the oven. It's another really great thing to bake while you're doing other things. So if you're getting your kids ready for the day, or if you, like us, have farm chores to do, it's one of those things that you can leave in for a while, come back in, and enjoy later. Super delicious. On day 6, we did my sourdough breakfast pizza. I make the crust for this in the same way I do any of my other pizzas, where I preheat a cast iron skillet or pizza stone on 400 degrees, add some sourdough starter, olive oil or avocado oil, either is fine, salt, bake it till it gets crispy, and then you can add all kinds of breakfast toppings. So I actually have a recipe for this on the blog if you want to check it out with times and measurements and all of that. I like to do eggs on mine and cheese. If you have some leftover sausage gravy, that's really delicious as well. Any veggies are really great on it. Just an excuse to eat pizza for another meal. On day 7, we did sourdough crepes. I like making these because it's another way to eat eggs and a whole lot of them without the kids feeling like they're eating eggs over and over again. I have an official recipe over on the blog that you can check out if you want exact measurements. Usually I just do a whole bunch of eggs, a couple scoops of sourdough starter, a splash of milk, a little salt, and sometimes a sweetener like honey or maple syrup. Whisk it all together and then cook them on a preheated cast iron skillet. Now, normally I get about 4 skillets going at one time because otherwise I'd be standing there all day making my kids sourdough crepes. And when I'm feeling really fancy, I will also make a cream cheese filling. Again, the recipe's on the blog. It's just cream cheese, maple syrup, vanilla, and cream. And when you roll them up with that, it's so good. If you really want to impress your kids, you can also add some chocolate chunks and some maple syrup. Delicious. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this episode of What We Eat in a Week, breakfast edition. Make sure if you are not yet a Thrive Market customer to get your free $24 item at thrivemarket.com/farmhouseonboone. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are brand new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I make 2 new videos every week on food from scratch, natural living, and a handmade home. Thank you so much for stopping by the farmhouse.